कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौरभक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण
हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare 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 जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
It's 8
Hare
o'clock.
Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Anybody please read this one? Inspiration of Holy Name. Hare Krishna, is it audible?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, yes.
Read over.
Yeah. That.
Freedom reaction to sin. First, the holy name eradicates the results of sin committed both in the present and in prior lifetimes. According to the law of karma, a human being is responsible for sinful acts he performs and must suffer from them. As ye sow, you shall ye reap. Deeply enmeshed in a complex web of material actions and their reactions, one must suffer the duality of pleasure and pain, lifetime after lifetime. The holy name, however, eradicates all reactions to past sins, both those manifesting themselves at present and those destined to manifest themselves in the future. Simply by chanting the holy name, one attracts the attention of the Supreme Lord, who therefore considers Because this person has chanted my holy name, my duty is to give him protection. The power of the holy name to absolve sins is declared emphatically in the scriptures. The Garuda Purana tells us if one chants the holy name of the Lord, even in the helplessness or without desiring to do so, all the reactions of his sinful life will depart. Just as when a lion roars, all the small animals flee in fear, says a Brihad Vishnu Purana. Simply by chanting the name of Hari, a sinful man counteracts the reactions to more sins, and then he is able to commit. In the Vishnu Dharmottara we read, this word Krishna is so auspicious that anyone who chants this holy name rids himself immediately of the reactions of sinful activities from many births. But for the chanting of the holy name to exert such a powerful purifying effort, the devotee must chant the holy name in purity without offenses. Having ceased to indulge in sinful actions, he must live a pure and holy life. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Lavishru. Thank you. The power of holy name, many times we read power of holy name that eradicates all the uproots the sinful reactions. Because of the power of holy name is like that. It directly connects with Krishna, right? So where is the hope? And hope is chant the holy name of the Lord to get rid of all these sins. Abandon all varieties of religion, just surrender. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja ham tvam sarvabhayo mokshayishyami ma sucha. We try to know the without offense. How can we get the without offense with purity? Again, holy name is the medicine. Continuously chanting. Take shelter of the holy names. But for the chanting of the holy name to exert such a powerful purifying effect, that's a purifying agent, a purifying medicine. Of the material Bhavaroga, it's called Bhavaroga. So the devotee must chant the holy name in purity without offense. Having ceased to indulge in sinful reactions, he must live a pure and holy life. Krishna consciousness is the life of pure and holy life, right? All activities engaged center around Krishna, right? Chanting, hearing, reading, performing worship, offering, association with the devotees. So these are all purifying agents. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Let us begin with Mangalacharana and read today the Bhagavata Subodhini. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksharanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktinanda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langai degirim yatkrupatamaham Sri Gurum Dinatharinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram Om Apavitra Pavitra Vasarvavastam Gatopi Vayasmaret Pundarikaksham Sabhyabhyam Kudam Suchi Sri Vishnu. So last week we completed the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So let us read Bhagavad Gita Subodhini from Gaurang Darshan Prabhu to get the same momentum and complete this. Whatever possibility, up to 20-25 minutes, we'll close this. Yeah. So 6th chapter entitled as Dhyana Yoga. Directly we'll jump into sections. It's again repeated. Okay. So yeah. So this is a connected verse. Whenever we see this one, it's a connecting from previous chapter or connected from other verses. Like that, he is giving the icons. So in the previous chapter, Krishna described how to attain liberation by Nishkama Karma Yoga and also by Ashtanga Yoga briefly in 5th chapter, 27 and 28 verse. In this chapter, that means in the 6th chapter, entitled as Dhyana Yoga, Krishna describes Ashtanga Yoga in greater detail as a means to control the mind and the senses Before practicing the advanced stages of Ashtanga Yoga, one must be purified with the practice of Nishkama Karma Yoga. Spell mistake is that. Okay. However, Ashtanga Yoga is very difficult for people in general to perform. People, yeah, it's very difficult, especially in this age of Kali. We cannot control our mind. Where is the question of Ashtanga Yoga? To control all the senses, body, and etc. Especially in this age of Kali, thus before teaching Ashtanga Yoga, the culmination of Karma Yoga, Krishna first praises Nishkama Karma Yoga in 6 chapter 1 to 2 verses because of its practicality. So this is the section 1 to 9. I'll read up to some pages and we'll over to you. 1 to 9. Advancing in Ashtanga Yoga. Aru Ruksha to Arudha stage. Aru Ruksha to Arudha stage. The beginning stage of Ashtanga Yoga is called Aru Ruksha. Aru Ruksha. And the advanced stage is called Arudha. Okay. A real sannyasi and yogi, Anashrita Karma Phalam, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work, and Karyam Karma Karotiya, dutifully performs his prescribed work as per scriptures. Sa Sanyashicha Yogi Cha is a real sannyasi, a true yogi. Na Niragnir na Chakriyaha. Not he who lights no fire for performing sacrifice, and not he who performs no work for bodily maintenance. Some note point. One who desires practicing Ashtanga Yoga should not suddenly give up prescribed duties, Karma Yoga, that purifies his heart. Although working, since a Karma Yogi renounces the results of his actions, he is called a sannyasi. And because his mind doesn't dwell on the enjoyment of sense objects, he is called a yogi. Karma Yoga and Krishna consciousness, in another words. Yoga and sannyasa are same. That is, detached action is same as renunciation. For one can never become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. A wonderful statement. How can become a yogi or how can become a sannyasi? Unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. See, sannyasi means sense control. Goswami. That's why sannyasi, some of Maharaj's names are Goswami. Under control of their senses, their body, their mind. So sannyasa means to be fixed in jnana, characterized by stopping the functions of the senses or renouncing the results of actions. Yoga means to have a mind which is not agitated by the thirst to enjoy sense objects. Therefore, both could mean the same. So connecting point, what is that? In the first 2 verses, Krishna told that an Ashtanga yogi should not give up Nishkama Karma Yoga, and that sannyasa and yoga are the same. So, should the Ashtanga yogi practice Nishkama Karma Yoga for his whole life? Krishna explains. Yeah, I'll give it to, let me read this one. So, this one point here mentioned. So, number 1. Yeah. Constitutionally, every living is a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Mamaivamsha Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. The parts of the body work for the satisfaction of the whole body, stomach, belly, and not for their individual satisfaction. Similarly, the living entity who acts for the satisfaction of the Supreme Whole, Krishna, and not for personal satisfaction is a perfect sannyasi, the perfect yogi. So KC definition, Krishna grants the definition for sannyasi and perfect yogi. So bhakti yogi, so for the satisfaction of for the pleasure of the Lord. That's why are we chanting the holy names? For the pleasure of the Lord, for the satisfaction of the Lord. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Mata is, yeah, I can begin with this. 3 to 4.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. 2 levels of Ashtanga Yoga. Yoga Aruruksha, beginning stage. Performing prescribed duties, Nishkama Karma Yoga is the cause of elevation. One should cultivate detachment and also practice Ashtanga Yoga, doing asanas, etc. That gradually purifies the heart from fruitive desires. Yoga Arudha, advanced stage. When one is completely purified of material desires, he can give up Nishkama Karma Yoga and practice Ashtanga Yoga exclusively. Then one neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. This is the stage of steady meditation, dhyana. The 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga are depicted in the flow chart.
Yeah, read.
Yama, don't, regulations or prohibitions. Niyama, do's, rules or prescriptions. Asana, bodily exercises. Pranayama, breathing exercises. Pratyahara, withdrawing the senses from sense objects. Dharana, fixing the mind on the Lord's form. Dhyana, intensified meditation on the Lord. Samadhi, complete absorption or trance. Mind control and detachment from sense objects are the requirements to come to the Yoga Rudha stage. So in the next two verses, Krishna describes the importance of mind control and thus discourages Arjuna, indicating the impracticality of the Hare Krishna.
We can read 5. Okay. Let us give it to others. Yeah, Samyukta, would you be able to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
How are you, Mata? Is that okay? Everything?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Still my daughter is sick, Prabhuji, but I'm fine, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah, please read. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. 5 to 6. Mind is both friend and enemy. Udharet atmanatmanam. One must deliver himself, soul, by the mind. Natmanam avasad dayet. One should not degrade himself by distracted senses. Atmaiva hi atmano bandhur. The controlled mind is the friend of the soul. Atmaiva ripur atmanaha. The uncontrolled mind is the enemy of the soul. Bandhur atmanas tasya yenat maivatmana jita. The mind is the best of friends for one who has conquered it. Anatmanastu satrutve vartate maiva satruvat. The mind is the greatest enemy for one who has failed to conquer it. 7 to 9. Symptoms of a person in Yogarudha stage. Jitatmanaha prasantasya. Controlled mind attained tranquility. Paramatma samahitaha. Completely approached the super soul. Sitoshna sukha dukkheshu tata manapamanayo. Neutral to all dualities, heat and cold, physical level, happiness and distress, mental level, honor and dishonor, egoistic level. Jnana Vijnana Triptatma, satisfied in Shastric knowledge and realization. Kutasto Vijitendriyaha, situated in transcendence, self-control. Yukta iti Uchate yogi, self-realized and is called a yogi or mystic. Sama lostrasma kanchanaha, equal visual of pebbles, stones or gold. Suhrun mitrari udasina, madhyastha dveshya bandhushu, sadhusva apicha papeshu, samabuddhir visishyate. A further advanced person is equipoised to all people, well-wishers, benefactors, the neutral meditators, the envious, friends and enemies, the pious and the sinners. Having described the perfectional stage of Ashtanga Yoga, Krishna will now describe the activities in the practice stage, that is, the method to achieve the goal of perfection. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you. Yoga Rudha stage. Yoga Rudha stage here mentioned symptoms of a person in Yoga Rudha stage. 7 to 9 verse, 7, 8, 9, 3 verses. 3 verses states about the Yoga Rudha stage, controlling mind, always, approach super soul. Paramatma Samhita, Sitoshna Sukha, in neutral to all dualities. Jnana Vijnana, satisfied Shastric knowledge. Self-controlled, self-realized, equal vision of pebble, stones or gold. Benefactor, a further advanced person is equipped to all people. Well-wishers, benefactors, neutral, everyone. Friends, enemies. Equal vision, they got the equal vision. Yeah, 10 to 32 is a big section. We'll partly read. Okay, so we'll Sandhya Mata is there. Yeah. Want to read? Hare Krishna Mataji.
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we can read this part. 10 to 32. Yeah.
10 to 17, practicing stage of, 10 to 32, the stages of Ashtanga Yoga practice. 10 to 17, practicing stage of Ashtanga Yoga. Practices in the Yoga Rudha stage. always engaging body, mind, and self in samadhi. Yogi Yunijita Satatam. Living alone in a secluded place. Rahasi Pitaha Ekaki. Always carefully controlling mind. Yata Chittatma. Free from all desires and possessiveness. Nirasir Aparigraha. Basic practices of Ashtanga Yoga: sitting firmly in a clean, sacred, and secluded place, not too high, not too low, on kusha grass with a dry skin and soft cloth on top. Dry skin. Fixing the mind on one point, controlling the mind and senses. One should do yoga for purification of the consciousness. Atma Vishuddhaye. This verse presents a more advanced level of equipoised vision than the previous verse because it involves persons rather than objects. Being erect. By keeping the body, neck, and head straight, being motionless and firm, staring steadily at the tip of the nose. Meditating on my form, mat chitta, withdrawing the mind from sense objects, being fearless, with a vow of celibacy, making me the ultimate goal of life, mat para, goal of Ashtanga Yoga. Thus, by practicing control of body, mind, and activities with regulated mind, niyata manasaha, the yogi attains cessation of material existence, nirvana paramam, and Lord Krishna's kingdom, mat samstham. Recommendation in Ashtanga Yoga. Diet. Don't eat too much or too little. Sleep. Don't sleep too much or too little. Regulation. Regulation in habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work in yoga mitigates all material suffering. Yuktara viharasya shestasya karmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Perfectional stage of Ashtanga Yoga. Perfection in Ashtanga Yoga Yukta involves disciplining mental activities or consciousness. Viniyatam Chittam, being fixed in the self or trance. Atmani evatatistate, devoid of all material desires. Nispraha sarva kamebhyo. Example, just as a lamp in a windless place does not waver, so the yogi whose mind is controlled, yata chittasya, remains steady in his meditation on the self. Yata deepo nivatasto nengate sopama smrita yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogam atmanaha. Shall I continue, Prabhuji?
In this one, you can complete this section. Done.
Realization in perfection, samadhi of Ashtanga Yoga. Consciousness completely restrained from material mental activities. One can see the self by pure mind and be satisfied with it. One gets boundless spiritual bliss by spiritual intelligence, not material senses. One is never deviated from the truth of one's spiritual nature. Having obtained this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Situated in full determination, one is never shaken, even in greatest difficulty. Yam labhava chapram labham manyate nadhikam tata yasmin stitona dukkhena gurunapi vishchalatye. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Shall I
Lavish
read?
Prabhu?
Okay.
Yeah. It's okay, Mataji. If you, it's a big section.
Okay.
Yeah. Lavish Prabhu, please read this one. Again, a verse and translation also read. Yam labdva chaparam labham.
Yam labadva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tata yasmin stito na dukkhane guru napi vichalete. This state of samadhi or trance called as asamprajanatah samadhi is the freedom, real freedom from all material miseries. Two types of samadhi. Samprajanata samadhi. It involves meditation on various gross or subtle objects. One comes to transcendental position by various philosophical researches. Asamprajanata samadhi. It involves meditation with no object. One becomes transcendental to all sorts of happiness derived from the senses. 24 to 32. Attaining perfection in Ashtanga Yoga. Realizing the Supersoul. 24 to 25. Methods to attain Yoga Ruda stage. Practice with determination. Nishchayena, without deviation. Anir Vinya Chetasaha, giving up all material desires born of mental speculations. Kamams Chaktva, controlling all the senses on all sides by mind. Final stage. Gradually coming to trance through intelligence, sustained by full conviction, and thus fix the mind on the self alone, thinking of nothing. Shane Uparamed Udaya Driti Gritaya Atma Samstam Mana Kritva Na Kinchit Api Chintaet. Success formula in yoga, bringing the mind back. Yato Nischalati Manasa Chanchalam Ashtrima, from wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, due to passion or past attachments. Tatastato Niyamaya, one must certainly withdraw the mind and Atmanaya Eva Vasamam Nayet, bring it back under the control of the self. Linking verse, endeavoring to bring back the mind in this way, the yogi will again experience the bliss of samadhi and comes to the stage of Brahma Bhuta, or realizing Atma and Paramatma. Verse 27, Brahma Bhuta platform, realizing Atma. The yogi whose mind is peaceful, prasanta manasaha, by being fixed on me, attains supreme bliss. Sukham uttamam, word of passion. Shanta rajasam, free of sin. Akalmanasam, and realizes his qualitative identity with Brahman. Brahma Bhutam. 28. Brahma Samsprita platform, realizing Paramatma. Thus, by constant practice, the self-controlled yogi is free of all sins. Vigataha Kalmasha, contacts the Supreme Spirit. In yoga, one have determination like the bird who attempt to dry up the ocean which stole her eggs. Inspired by Narada, eventually Garuda, the Supreme Lord's eagle carrier, came to help the bird. Being afraid of Garuda, the ocean returns the eggs. Hare Krishna.
Endeavor. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you. So success formula, how do we control the mind? The nature is there, flickering in nature and unsteady. So one must certainly withdraw the mind. So when we chant the holy names of Lord, our mind thinks so many other things. We just have to conscious about what I'm doing, right? So then if it is thinking about all other things except holy name, we just bring it back under the control of the self. Means we have to try to focus. That's where focus and attentiveness, two are wonderful qualities in chanting. With those two qualities, we can chant perfectly, nicely. And advancement also is so quick. Focus and attentiveness. But focus attentiveness is the question. How do we get that? Constant practice. Whenever the nature itself flickering and unsteady, we have to bring back hear the holy names. Sit properly and simply. This is the two instructions by Prabhupada. Sit properly wherever either you sit in chair or sofa or on the ground, wherever. Sit properly and simply hear. How are you chanting and how are you hearing? These two qualities. Slowly we get the focus and attentiveness. We have to always look about the mind, how I'm thinking. So many plans making. When we take the beadbacks only, we get so many wonderful thoughts, plans of what we need to do like that. So, but let us focus.
All solutions comes at that time, Prabhuji.
Ah,
All problems.
world tour करते हैं, मानस प्रपंच पर्यटन मानस प्रपंच पर्यटन करते हैं. चलो.
Triple P formula: place, position, pronunciation. That's what I heard.
See, 3P, yes. 3P, Suresh. Thank you, Chef, for sharing. Place, position, pronunciation. Now, that also helps to get focus and attentiveness. Place, position, and pronunciation. Clearly chant the holy names. That's where some devotees in temple also, they sit a regular place in their place and sit and do. It's there so much, they get the concentration and the focus in that place. I see many devotees, they come for Mangalarati and see in that only particular place and 2 hours of chanting and done with the 16 rounds. Now that's a good quality, one sitting japa. It's called one sitting japa. Yeah, let us develop those qualities by Krishna's messenger, Guru's blessings. Yeah, read Praveen Prabhu this part. Brahma sounds Prishita.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Samsparsha.
Brahma samsparsaha and attain supreme bliss. He is called Jivan Mukta, liberated even in this life. 29:30. Vision of a perfect yogi sees Paramatma or Krishna everywhere. Sarvabhuta Stham Atmanam. A true yogi observes me, the super soul, in all beings. Sarva Bhutani Chatmani, and also sees every being in me. Iksate Yoga Yuktatma. Indeed, the self-realized person sees me. Sarvatra Sama Darsanaha, the same Supreme Lord everywhere. Yo mamam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati. For one who sees me everywhere and see everything in me. Tasyaham na pranasmyami sa cha me na pranasyanti. I am never lost to him, nor he is ever lost to me. Action of a perfect yogi. Worship me as one, though situated in all entities as super soul, Paramatma, and thus exist in me in all circumstances. See all beings equally by comparison to one's self, and consider others' happiness and distress one's own. Arjuna felt that such equal vision cannot be long-lasting. One can maintain such equal vision for friends or neutral persons, but not for enemies. So Arjuna now speaks to Krishna that the practice of Ashtanga Yoga is difficult. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Your son is there, Prabhu?
Prabhuji, he is going to school now.
Okay, sure. Raju, Prabhu. Go ahead. 33, 36.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam.
Dhanavad Pranam.
Necessity of controlling the mind. Arjuna's concern, Ashtanga Yoga is impractical due to fickle mind. O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have described appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, O Krishna, the mind is flickering. Pramati bhalavad drudam, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. Tasyaham nigraham manye, to subdue the mind, I think. Vayar ivasu duskaram is more difficult than controlling the wind. Note point, fickle mind is strength. Although the discriminating intelligence is supposed to direct the mind, the obstinate mind attached to enjoyment often overcomes the intellect.
Nice. Fighting with our mind. Yeah.
linking.
Link verse, yes.
Such a strong mind is supposed to be controlled by the practice of yoga, but Arjuna found it is impractical for an ordinary person. So in the next two verses, in the next two verses, Krishna gives solution for dealing with the mind. 35, Krishna's solution, controlling the mind by practice and detachment. Asamyanam. Asamsayam Mahabaho, O mighty armored one, it is undoubtedly Mano Durnigram Chalam. Very difficult to curb the restless mind. Abhyas Hena to Kaunteya. But O Arjuna, by suitable and repeated practice, Vairagyena cha grahate, and by detachment, one can control the mind. O mighty armored one, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but O Arjuna, by suitable, here I am reading this one continuously, this verse translation. But O Arjuna, by suitable and repeated practice, and by detachment, one can control the mind. 36, Krishna's conclusion. Mind control is must for yoga.
Is must.
Mind control, yeah. For one whose mind is uncontrolled, self-realization is very difficult. But it is possible for the one whose mind is controlled and who endeavors by appropriate means. Can I continue, Prabhuji?
Continue.
Yoga practice without controlling mind from material enjoyment is a waste of time. Like trying to ignite a fire while pouring water on it. The yogis who control their minds and give up their propensities for material enjoyment, perfect their yoga, and finally attain the liberation. Linking verse. Having heard from the Krishna that is one should endeavor to control the mind in the practice of yoga, Arjuna became inquisitive to know the happens to someone who fails to continue his endeavor in the yoga practice.
Yeah. One thing, Prabhuji, Prabhuji and Mataris. So yoga practice without controlling the mind from material enjoyment is waste of time. Like trying to ignite a fire while pouring water on it. It's Prabhupada writes in purports. Sense gratification and self-realization go ill together, side by side. See, self-realization means, what is the meaning of self-realization? Controlling, especially all the yoga systems, including Bhakti Yoga also, controlling the mind, right? Proper engagement is needed for the mind. So here he writes appropriate means. Right? What is that? For one whose mind is uncontrolled, self-realization is difficult, but it is possible for one whose mind is controlled and who endeavors by appropriate means. That means proper engagement to the mind. Just like we are doing, chanting the holy names of the Lord. It's a proper engagement. Yes. So the yogis who control their minds and give up their propensities of material enjoyment, perfect their yoga and finally attain liberation. So any yoga system, Ashtanga yoga, so these are controlling the mind, linking. Right. Yoga means linking, right? Linking to whom? Linking to Supreme. So this one, 2 more pages. How many pages are there? 46%. Let us read tomorrow. We continue or tomorrow? You tell us. Mataji's Prabhuji.
Let's read tomorrow, Prabhuji. Because
Yes.
now office also started, Prabhuji. So
Yes. Yeah. He will read from 37 to 40. No worry. No rush. We'll do tomorrow. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patithanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada translated book reading ki jai. Nitai Gaura Hari Premanande. Hari Hari. Have a happy Krishna conscious day. Mataji's Prabhuji's. Dhanavad Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.